Easy intro and think of some funny joke. But it's genuinely hard to smile when you lose. It's even harder to do it on camera when you're doing it for the first time, at least for most of us. Shubhi here is a sports journalist, so he's used to being on camera. And he's an Arsenal fan, so he's used to losing. JK Shubhi, this is an RCB show, so for your thoughts
we
on
can talk
cricket
about
and,
Chelsea. We can talk about Chelsea soon.
for your thoughts on cricket and football, check out the Jersey loudspeaker. Link right here. Ariman, thanks for joining us between important meetings and code reviews in New York. And Rai, it's 1 a.m. in a hotel room somewhere in Bombay. Stick around to find out which one. And guys, you might just learn something new. Anyways, and me, I didn't even want to do this right now. I actually called all three of these people before we were supposed to record, and I asked them if we can reschedule because I didn't want to do this. When we started this show, I was so confident because I felt like we're going to win every game, and it's so easy to talk about wins, but it's hard to talk about losses, and it's hard to be on camera, like I said. So guys, if you haven't already, go and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Nearly 2/3 of you don't, and we're almost hitting 600 guys, so come on, help us in this journey. And stick around because we're not only going to cover and recover from this RR game, we're also going to look ahead to Mumbai, Wankhede, Sunday night. Let's go. All right, guys, first taste of defeat. That was rough. Let's do a feelings corner. Like, how are we feeling right now? Just in a few sentences. Rai, Ariman, then Shubhi.
Yeah, I think sitting in a room in Bombay at 1:30 after the game, feeling like shit, but like the team have to feel, which is they're coming to Bombay tomorrow. I have to gear up tomorrow to make sure that I see them and welcome them, right? So my energy is high, to be honest, because there's no time to look at what's gone wrong. Obviously, we can learn from it, but we have to target the next game, which is literally in a day from now. So my attitude is learn whatever we have to and move ahead.
Absolutely, man. Ariman?
I would say it's a bit too early to hit any panic buttons. It's a tough game. I think we would rather have it early in the season than later. We probably want to just like consolidate, pick some learnings out of here and go again. I think the major positive signal is that the team doesn't crumble and we take it to the end no matter what the situation is. Yeah, we just have to keep going. And it's a good thing that the next game is in a couple of days so we can bounce back quick.
100%, man. I can't wait to play again. I'm not scared yet. Shubhi, get me your feelings and also get that Chelsea jab in there. I know you're waiting for that.
I think I'm like I told you guys at the start of the season, like I'm quite zen going into the season, and I still feel the same way. I think, like these guys said, I think we showed enough fight, enough spirit throughout the game when it could have gone away from us. And I think when you have that first loss, I think is when you really feel like, okay, the season's like you're in the thick of it now. You really understand what this team is made of, what this squad is made of. So yeah, I think there was a lot of interesting stuff which happened today, but overall, like I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, certainly. Perfect way to end, Shubhi. And, before we really break down what happened, before the game, we made some predictions. Editor, pull up our report cards. So, Rai, before the game, you said Suryavanshi and Jaiswal were going to together score less than 20 runs. I don't know how good we are at math, but I don't think that was close.
Yeah, I think you could skip that one. It's like,
All right.
honestly, when Jaiswal got out, I was like, there might be a chance, but then it was too late.
I was hoping the same, man. But yeah, Ayush said Kohli will score somewhere between 60 and 70. Man, there was moments I thought he could do it. There was also moments I thought that he was not going to come close, man. I think the first ball he played and not having a first slip, like, wow, we got lucky. I also saw the very next over inside edge, I think, not from Nandre Burger, something like that. Shaky stuff. He looked good. I don't know, 50-50. But sorry, Ayush, your streak is ended here. Ariman, this one is interesting. Suyash Sharma, man of the match, 3 wickets. I didn't see him in the lineup, man.
Yeah, I'll have to hold my hands up on that. But to be fair, I think the situation was not expected, not something we could have planned for. But looking at how the game played out, I feel like he could have maybe made a difference.
Yeah. And me, myself, to round it off from our panel here, Suryavanshi scores more than Jaiswal, Parag and Jurel combined. Dude, I was off by 19 runs. In fact, like I lost the least bad, some would say. But no, man, like I didn't expect that from Jarrell. I definitely expected what we saw from Suryavanshi. So, yeah, I guess none of us on the panel won or even half credits, guys. This is pretty obvious. So, editor, put that on the screen. All right, guys, my favorite segment. Let's get right into it. 6 things we learned. Let's do two from each of you. Maybe I'll jump in with one at the end. Rai, go ahead and kick us off.
Yeah, I think the first one positive has to be Rajat for me. I learned that no matter what the situation is, our captain is ready to fight it out, man. In all the games till now, I think he's been the constant in every single one of them. And he's played a different role and highly impactful. So I want to keep it short, but credit to him. And hopefully if the team can learn something is that if we fight like a captain, I think we're going to have a pretty good season.
Yeah. I mean, with wickets stumbling all around him and, I personally was thinking of the worst. I was thinking 160, 180 looked on then. Ariman, I should give you credit. You always never lost sight of that 195. And the whole game he was messaging me that, dude, don't worry, 195 is still on. So, yeah, just why don't you say something about Rajat and how he made you believe that 195 was always on?
Yeah, I think we should put some screenshots in here to show that I called the score. But no, I think, yeah, he was measured, and I think he was attacking at the right times and consolidating at the right times. Like I never felt that he was too aggressive or too risky. So I felt pretty good about it, and he took us deep, and overall he's in much better form than last year, I feel. So that's only a good thing for us.
I
Yeah,
just
and
want to
one-
add on
yeah,
Patidar. I feel like this year, like I know he was the captain who won it last year, but this year he just feels like more like our captain, like in the way he's carrying himself. There's a bit of that aura. I don't know if it's the haircut or like what's going
Yeah.
on, but there
No,
is something going on with Patidar, which like watching him go about it, where like when we're like in crisis and just there was like a coolness about him, like when to go, when not to. I was like, yeah, this guy is our captain. Like, so that's
Yeah,
pretty nice to see.
I think there's a fear factor actually, Shubhi, because just to summarize for everyone watching, Bishnoi is the purple cap holder right now, and he's by far one of the best bowlers. And in the over in which he hit him for 2 sixes back to back, Rian Parag went and spoke to him, and like you could be like they were shitting at that point. They're like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" Right? So that is the aura that he's carrying, and that's good to see, man, for sure.
It was amazing
I-
and real turning
I think
point when he lost him.
The haircut
Go ahead,
probably
sorry,
adds like 10 points to his strike rate, honestly.
Yeah.
it's gone. Shubhi, go ahead. Take it away.
Hazelwood, man. I think Hazelwood being back, just that hype when, like, before the game, you saw him warming up, you saw him, like, marking his run up. Just that hype for, like, oh shit, this guy's back. Like, he's properly playing now after what he did last season. I know Duffy's been pretty solid, but I just think when you have a guy like Hazelwood, like, he's still the first name on the team sheet for me personally. And he's playing after a while. Like, I was checking this. His last game, guys, was in October 2025. So this guy's not played for a while. Been out injured, came in like, okay, yes, Suryavanshi took him for a few runs, did take him on, and how? But like, this guy still got Jaiswal out, important wicket, still like your gun bowler in a crunch game against one of the best teams in the league so far. No, just really good to see him, and I think he's just going to get better.
Ariman, go ahead. What's one thing you learned?
Yeah, in keeping with the theme of talking about our pace attack, I think we should talk about Abhinandan. So we have Duffy, who is an international star on the bench. We have Mangesh, who has a really good domestic record on the bench. And we also have Rasikdar, who has actually a lot of IPL experience. And so I think that the third seamer spot now becomes important, and we have a lot of good competition there, which is a good thing for the squad. But whoever comes in there has to perform. And I feel there's a little bit of implicit pressure there, especially in a game like this where we need early wickets. Hazelwood even got us a wicket. I think you want the support for your 2 strike bowlers to be able to bring this over the line. Rajat turns to Abhinandan in the third over, which shows that he's trusting of the bowler, but I feel like maybe he missed the mark a little bit. He's played well in moments, but I feel like there are some question marks about his ability overall. So, I definitely saw like slot balls to Suryavanshi, full tosses to Jurel, and I feel like that was neither attacking nor defensive. It was kind of just passive, and we are just seeing him bowl his quota through. And so that was a little bit disappointing and some food for thought for the next game.
Yeah, no, 100%. And guys, stick around. We'll be discussing our lineups for who we think should play against Mumbai. So hold the thought there. But should we go ahead? What's another learning you had from this game?
Another learning, I think, for me. So my prediction pre-game was on Krunal Pandya, and I was like, this is going to be like a big Krunal game. And I think I want to say I'm semi-right. Like, first innings, okay, I think he comes slightly higher up than we expect him. Didn't quite get going. I think ate up a little too many balls, if I'm honest. But I still think it was the right decision to send him at that point when we were in a bit of a delicate situation, and you had David and Romario to kind of pump up things. So you just needed a guy to just hang around for a bit, keep things moving. I don't think he did that exactly. But man, when he came on those back-to-back wickets, especially the way he got Hetmeyer, the catch he took in the field, not quite, I would not say like, oh, this was like a Krunal game and like, man, what a player and everything. But this guy's clutch, man. Like, I think there will be a lot of games he's going to like get us a few points here and there. And I think again, like, I think we're still growing into the season. So yeah, like a game of 2 innings for Krunal, I'd say.
Certainly a game of 2 innings. And Ariman, let's talk about someone who, well, I guess he was on both innings, but I wanted to talk about the impact sub. So go ahead, tell us what you think of how that was used, how that worked out, all in hindsight.
Yeah, I think the impact sub is a big discussion point. So firstly, I just want to say like good batting debut for Venki. It was good to see him out there, and he did what he had to do. He got us that 20-30 extra runs to kind of put us over the 200 mark. So with that lens, I think that was a pretty good move. But what then happened was that we lost Suyas in the game, and like I said earlier, the
And
way
you
it
lost
played
your
out.
whole prediction right there.
Yeah, for that alone, I was so sad. Given how it played out, I feel like maybe that call could be questionable. But actually, it's not just about Venki's coming on as an impact sub, but maybe starting Abhinandan in the starting 11. If we had Suyash in the starting 11, and then we kind of sacrifice Abhinandan, because we still had Romario who had some quota left. So I feel like we had a little bit of pace attack going. So the impact sub kind of maybe pointed out a couple of tactical plots for us that we need to work on a little bit. So overall, I would say it's 50-50. Like, got us some runs, but it left us a little short with options. And I think that maybe bit us in the end.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add to what Ariman said. So I was listening. I think Harsha Bogle said this, I think, in yesterday's game, where he said he was reading something where I think on average the impact player adds, I think, between 10 to 12 runs, and that's it. And Venki added about ish at like striking at 200. So I was quite impressed. I thought like, yeah, like I think there was a balance issue, which I do think we need to address, but just Venki himself, first game of the season, it was nice to see him come in, and like I think the sign of a stable camp when a guy can come in immediately, create instant impact, hasn't played a lot. I think that's a good sign.
Yeah. Guys, actually, when we first discussed this, we said we're going to give this impact decision a yellow. But I think, from where we were when the decision was taken, like, and the way it ended up, like, especially given that last over, man, that last over was just amazing. I think it gave us the momentum to, like, take into the second innings. So I completely agree with you. I think we did a great job. Venki did a great job. And I just wish it kind of, turned out differently.
I actually have a point to make here, guys, which is that I don't think overall, if you look at it from an impact on the game, if he bowled 2 overs or even 1 over, I would still understand that he gave you 25 runs with the bat and then gave you an over of whatever, right? Even if he concedes 10 runs and he's slotted in your 21 or 2 overs. Dude, I do not want Tim David bowling. Like, I don't care what you guys say. The moment I see a David coming to bowl, or even to fill in your 20 overs, that come on, man. Like I don't know how you felt, but when he came, I was like, for me, the game was done. I'm sorry, but I felt like as a fan, like, that's not happening, man. Like, there's something wrong there. Yeah.
If we're talking about, when I felt like as a fan, the wrong decision was made, for me, I actually disagree with you, Shubi, where I thought Krunal coming into bat so early was like us kind of hitting the panic button so early. And especially like when you know how Rajasthan is going to bat, like in terms of there's going to be a guy who's going to try to hit a 6 every ball. Like this 180, 190 was never going to win it. Yeah, we got lucky to even reach 200 for sure and did a great job to get there. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of this team. And that's why, the sixth learning for me is mentality. But I did want to say that, yeah, there's always decisions that could go one way or the other. I think some people are trusted and sometimes don't just, execute on their plans. So don't want to take too much into it. But guys, these are the 6 things we learned. I'm sure we're going to dust ourselves off, and I'm sure RCB has a lot longer list than this. But yeah. All right, guys, that was our review. We lost. It sucked. We move on. That's what champions have to do, and that's what we're going to do. And plus, Jasprit Bumrah is going to be bowling to us in 48 hours or so. Actually, under that. So let's look ahead to Sunday, gentlemen. Shubi, let me start with you. How important is this game for us in terms of, clash of legacy teams and also context of where they both are today?
Clash of legacy teams, clash of two teams who've just been demolished by Vaibhav. So I think it's going to be fun. I do think given it's still early in the season, I think it's about momentum. I think suddenly we're still in an okay place, good start, 2-1. But then suddenly we lose to Mumbai and then you've lost 2 in a trot. And then suddenly you're like, oh, what's going on? The narrative can switch. And I think similar for MI. I think both these teams came in as favorites. So I think more than a statement win or anything needed, I think it's just that momentum, which I think is going to be most important at Wankhede.
Yeah, I agree, man. I don't want to be 2-2 when we were talking about 3-0, Anything to say on Mumbai and their last game? They also lost to our, the same opponents we did and got taken down by the 15-year-old.
Yeah, I think both teams, like Shubhi just mentioned, right, coming from a similar experience, right, from Guwahati to Bombay, right, after experiencing what they did, both want to bounce back, right? I think both the teams are definitely desperate to prove that, hey, we've got mantle, right? We're big teams on paper, and obviously the mentality will show. I'm just looking forward to it, to be very honest. The Pandya brothers going at it, packed Wankhede Sunday night, under the lights, no rain, flat pitch, ready for some serious action. I'm super excited.
Are you going, Rai?
We're trying, but yeah,
Nice.
You guys have to tune in for the review to know if I or
You'll
not.
find out.
There'll definitely be some surprises in the review, that I can guarantee you guys.
Yeah. Hey, Ariman, Bumrah. Let's discuss him. Some people say it's a 16-over game when you're playing against MI. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the strategy is to not think too deeply about it and just go about the business, right? He's been in the league for a while and almost everyone has faced him. Almost everyone has their nightmares against him. So yeah, it's just another day. I think making him larger than life and playing him up in our minds is certainly not going to help. I think overall we're strong. We have a deep squad, and I like that we have a really short turnaround window as well, right? No time to stew on things. Just get on with it and just start hitting some balls.
Yeah, no, fully agree. Guys, I promised you starting 11s, and I think we should just get right into it. So this on screen is our 11 that played the last game. Let's start with you, Shubi. What changes do you want to see? What changes are you considering?
I mean, I've been in the battle camp from the start. I think knowing RCB and the way their camp is, I know they don't like to shake the boat too much. But I think it'd be interesting to see if Bethel comes in instead of Salt. Salt's had a bit of a slow start to the season. And I think it'd be interesting to maybe throw Bethel in. I think there's an interesting narrative that this is again back at Wankhede where he got that 100 again. Against. So I think, that'll be pretty fun to see. Personally, that's perhaps the only change I'd make, but I'd want to get Bethel in there now.
Okay, Rai, thoughts on Salt Bethel, and is that the only change you want to make? I mean, it sounds like we've been kind of crying for Mangesh. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think agree with Shubhi. I'm a huge fan of Bethel as well. So would love to see him at the Wankhede again. But for me, the bigger change or the thing I want to discuss has to be Abhinandan and the bowling option. We cannot be bowling the way he bowled in the last game at the Wankhede. He literally get hit for 4, 5, 6s in an over. I'm not half crackers and full tosses, right? So just hoping that we can either have a word with him. I don't know how the management feels. 3 games in, 2 at home, 1 away now. I think it's time for a change. Again, Mangesh didn't play, guys, in the first 2 games. He wasn't even on the substitute bench, like we mentioned in a previous episode. So I'm not sure about his fitness, which is a concern. And then Rasikdar, I don't know how much would he fancy coming into a Wankhede, right? That's another thing we have to discuss. So lots of thinking to do. I think Aryaman's point of maybe depending on winning or losing the toss, probably not even have Suyash in the playing 11. I think that might be a smart decision for us, and then take on the bowler depending on how much, like what the match situation looks like. So I think that might be a good solution till we have a more solid, concrete Mangesh coming back.
Yeah. Ariman, any further thoughts? Do you think you can fit Venki in after his performance today?
Yeah, I still don't see him coming right in. I think both the boys have kind of hit the nail on the head, right? The two big decisions are the third placer, and I think Bethel and Salt. I'm not opposed to either. I think one thing that is kind of underrated is that Bethel is left-handed, and that gives us a little bit more left-handed options, which could maybe swing the game. Especially with Wankhede, where you have a short boundary on one side, that may be something that plays in the management's eyes. But yeah, on the whole, I think we have a winning formula, and I agree that the management doesn't like to shake the boat. So we're probably going to see maybe a change, if that.
Guys, we all know Mumbai's team. Most of them play for India. Let's look at their last batting scorecard. Ariman, what did you learn from their last game against Rajasthan?
They have a packed batting lineup, but I don't know if they've quite arrived at the IPL yet. I would say, the likes of like Rickelton, Surya Kumar, Rohit, they've had a couple of good innings, but I feel like they're leaving some impact on the field. So that's both like a good and a bad thing. I feel like they may explode any day now, so that's something to be wary about. But I feel like we would be confident, because if they're not firing on all cylinders, then we should be smelling blood.
Awesome. Let's look at their bowling scorecard. Rai, take it away.
Yeah, I think pretty similar to our problem, which is they obviously have their gun bowler in Bumrah. Hardik is bowling probably the best he's ever done in his life. But the gap is with Deepak Chahar, Shardul, and even Trent Bolt not firing. In fact, he's not even bowling. He didn't even start the innings, which was surprising to me. And if he doesn't get wickets up top, then they're definitely struggling. And Deepak Chahar is the same thing, right? So they do have that weakness. And funnily, their spinners also not very well known in terms of IPL experience. So it's going to be an interesting game. I think their bowling isn't half as scary as their batting is. So I think there's some opportunity for our monsters to go at it big at the Wankhede.
Go off Tim David against his old team. I thought we are gonna all agree on the same change, but I have a differing opinion of what I want to see in the next game, which is I want to see Venki bat, man. I think, rather than go Salt for Bethel, like what if Venki opens the batting and can rediscover some form? You do get, like Ariman said, like an added left-handed guy in. And then now you get Duffy and Fabinandan. So I think like if Mangesh is not fit and not ready, I don't know if we want to risk Rasikdar and, maybe giving him a really tough first game at the Wankhede. So yeah, I would go Duffy. I'd go Hazelwood. I think we've been trying for this. Like we need to figure out how do we get both of them in. Clearly we're not good enough, without Yash Dayal now. So cool. Any thoughts, guys? What do you think of that?
No, it's an interesting one for sure. It sounds good to have both Duffy and Hazelwood bowling for sure. But at the expense of Salt or Bethel, I don't know, man. I don't think this management will go that route, knowing how they think. But I think it's definitely an interesting shot.
No, 100%. I don't think management is, going to change a lot, but it's always nice to have wishful thinking. Okay, speaking of wishful thinking, guys, like the good, bad, and the bold. Let's go. Ariman, talk to us about the good. I know we just lost, but it's okay. I mean, like Mumbai lost too, and I'd argue even worse. So what are the good things you're looking forward to in the game on Sunday?
I think we bat deep, and this is a batting pitch. So I'm expecting a really high-scoring game, and I feel like this will probably be more similar to our first couple of games. So we've navigated these before. We're kind of in a good space, momentum where we're able to kind of bring these over the line. So my mind kind of tells me that it's going to be one of those 220, 230 games, and we'll probably end up on the right side of it.
I hope so, man. Fingers crossed. Rai, let's hear the other side of this, man. Like, don't say Bumrah. We're all scared of him. What else scares you about this team?
I just feel like we were talking about mentality earlier, and I think Hardik Pandya is literally the definition of coming. He played against Rajasthan, and he was the best bowler. Actually, in that 150 that they conceded in 11 overs, he actually had the best figures, and he got the whole they would have conceded 180. Like that's how they were getting belted in the last game. So he's actually in really good bowling form. Even better than his batting right now. But my point is, he loves these games, guys. Right? So a Sunday under the lights at Wankhede against his brother, it's a Hardik Pandya game, right? So that is the bad in terms of if you look at the way I just said it. Hope for the best, but definitely that's the bad in my eyes for sure.
Should we choose a good or a bad?
Good or a bad? My good is I see Aditya Rai and the Wankhede watching the game. That's going to be the good I'm going to be rooting for. The bad is I hope you guys are ready for the Kohli Rohit reels, which are just going to fill up our feeds from this game now. All the compilations. That's all that people are going to... There's like going to be just that going on, like no matter how they do in the game. So that is what I'm not looking forward to from this one.
All right. Yeah.
Personally, I'm a fan of the Kohli reels, to be honest. You know, I wouldn't mind some more.
Yeah, I
thing
love
is, like,
seeing
they said
Rohit
it-
bat too.
Like, but when they make the Kohli Rohit, they always like it's always like set to this like romantic song and like as if these guys are like
Yeah.
long lost brothers. That's just gonna start up again now.
But speaking of Rohit, like he does look in pretty decent touch, and that's something that we should kind of think about, especially some of these like shorter balls, which we tend to bowl a little bit. Yeah, that's the kind of delivery that Rohit deposits into the stands. So maybe look at like a slightly different tactical approach.
Yeah. I mean, what would that be, Ariman? Go ahead. Like, because we do bowl a lot of
Honestly-
hard length balls, you know?
Yeah, I wish I knew how to bowl a Rohit. That would be really good. But probably, yeah, maybe you may see like wider deliveries, wide off, have him like swing through the line and maybe get him nicked at slips. That would probably be the way to go.
Maybe a fuller length fifth stump line. All right, called it here. Follow Ariman for more tactical advice. RCB management, please watch this part of the video. Cool, guys. Bold predictions. My favorite part of the video. And if you didn't catch last time, these are some bold predictions that we loved. So see them on screen. Let us know yours for the next game in the comments. And let's go Shubhi, Rai, Ariman, and then I'll take us home.
Bethel comes in and scores a 50.
Okay. Rai?
I'm going to go for my guy. I'm just going to back him. I'm getting a feeling that it's going to be a pretty good Jitesh Sharma batting this time. I feel like he's due one. And if not now, then when? Right? So I think it's going to be a good Jitesh game for sure. So I think above, again, I'll stick to the 35 given where he bats. So 30, 35 would be good between that.
Okay.
You know, I was actually going to say the same thing. So I'm going to have to adjust in real time. Let's say Rajat 7.
Okay. Rajat 70 plus. Oh, I'd love that. I'm going to go with a number you're all going to recognize and love, but I'm going Hazelwood 333. 3 wickets, less than 33 runs in Wankhede, which is going to be awesome, right? Like that's decent. Bombay next. Cool. Bumrah, Rohit, Surya, Hardik, a packed cauldron of Wankhede, 33,000 people who want nothing more than to see the defending champions lose 2 on the trot. It's not going to be easy, guys, but we've been here before. We've been down, we've picked ourselves up, and we're going to be even more prepared, even more hungry, and even more ready for Sunday night. So tell us in the comments your bold predictions, what changes you want to see. We're reading all of them. And finally, if you're still here, even after a loss, you're a real one. Thank you so much for your support, guys. We're almost at 600, so subscribe if you haven't. And share this with an RCB fan who needs someone to talk to. Pick yourselves up, guys. We're going to be back after Sunday night.